What up, YouTube? This is Daniel Rucker with True Table. Welcome to the table. Today, I'm going to be talking about a topic that came across my feed. You know, like I tell you guys all the time, I'm constantly consuming content. As a content creator, I feel it's necessary to also consume content, you know, to get points of reference, you know, to continue to check the temperature in this space, to remain, you know, plugged into the system and all the things that are being discussed. But I like to feed myself with the same information that I also feed to you guys. So today, I thought that it would be a good idea to speak on this topic that came across my feed, actually by a content creator by the name of MTR, Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews. Shout out to you, my brother. Keep doing what you're doing. But he did a review on a young lady who was referencing how being a woman, you should not deal with a man that doesn't pay for everything. And that got me a little bit tight. That got me a little tight. I'm not even gonna lie. I got a little tight on it. So I'm gonna talk about it. But before I get started, before I get in here with Gets Cooking, because you know that's what I do. I cook over here. I get in here, I serve up these meals, because that's what I do on this channel. For those of you who are coming across my content for the first time, welcome to True Table. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm bringing. So welcome. Without further ado, we're going to get started. We're just going to get in here and just light things up and get it flowing. Fellas and ladies, this is going to be a dual type of topic. I'm going to be talking to my fellas. I'm going to be talking to my ladies, but I'm talking to y'all collectively. But fellas, a lot of things are being talked about in this space in reference to how men should move, how men should be, how as a real man, you are supposed to bear the burden of everything that comes with life as an adult. I have mixed feelings about this. I'm gonna tell you why. I don't believe as a man you should be measured by your sole ability to contribute financially to another grown person's life that is capable of doing some of the lifting herself. What does that mean? If I said that in a way that went over certain people's heads, I apologize. That means that, fellas, as much pressure that is put on us as it is already being a man, the added pressure of the modernized dating society, dating practices, and how the world is moving right now, I totally disagree with. And I'm going to tell you why. We need to be a little bit more intentional on asking questions about why things were the way they were. See, one thing that I think that men have still not gotten a good grip on is that women know how to grab onto benefit of a man and reap the benefits of what was. A lot of things that were in play, gentlemen, in mid-century, early century, were because of the way that the landscape of life was. There was a time that a woman's sole survival was predicated on what we did. A woman's sole experience was predicated on what we did. Gentlemen, that is no longer the case. And what I would like for fellas to do is to go ahead and give yourself a round of applause, because you, my friend, have contributed to the fact that women now can stand on their own, pay their own freaking bills, take care of themselves, and then experience all this great life that we built. Now, why is this important? This is important because in the world of dating, you still have women who are manipulating the system, or at least trying to. For those men who want to feel like they're the man, or carry out the practices of what was the archaic practices of being a man. You know, I was talking to my mother earlier, and I was explaining to her that if you look at history as humans, right? Story time. You know, I know you guys like story time, so go ahead, I'm gonna share this with you. This was a real conversation. What I was sharing with my mother was that, you know, I haven't been on the planet that long. I'm 36 now, but I do read. And history is one of the things I enjoy. One of the things I appreciate about history is that if you look at it, gentlemen, we are experiencing life right now in the smallest segment of what has been humanistic experiences at this level. What does that mean? That means that if you look at the indoctrination of mankind to the earth, and you look at how our world was constructed and built, and how we lived in little towns, or before towns, there was caves, there was forests, and lacking development. But our human timeline, gentlemen, ladies, we lived in a time that was more archaic than we have lived in a modern time. Modernized living, I would say, will be probably within the last 40 to 50 years, give or take. And what I mean by that is, if you look at your history, back in the 1950s, back in even the 1960s, the average household didn't even have a refrigerator. The reason why women were allowed to stay at home was because men made the money to be able to produce the finances necessary to take care of them and their family. And her job was to go to the grocery store, wash the clothes, tidy up the house, and make the meals. That was her job, right? We no longer live in that time. The way we live now is so modern, but it's so new. And the problem with it is that our technology is more advanced than us as humans even are. I think that people get caught up in this whole, internet and media, and don't get me wrong, having these tools allows for this type of stuff to take place, broadcasting information to be spread. But I believe that the original intent for these technological advances was not to make for more of an inhumanistic exchange. What I mean by that is that this was designed to bring people closer together. These tools were designed to create a certain flow and connection, bridge the gap, not create a wider divide, right? And why is this important? This is important because you have women trying to participate in the days that were, the rules that applied. Men, no. More men need to stop allowing for social pressure, stop allowing for the manipulative practices of what they try to claim to be what is true masculinity. In my opinion, true masculinity is understanding oneself, one's strengths, one's weaknesses, where he needs to develop, where he's good, where he needs to tighten up. And this whole notion that men need to be trying to kill themselves to be put in a financial position so that they can take care of a woman, I think is short-sighted. I think that was at one time absolutely necessary. That was at one time the landscape of how our world was. It was pertinent that a man was the breadwinner. It was absolutely the only method of a woman's survival. But guess what? Ladies, you clamored, you fought, you petitioned, you marched, and you created a landscape that now allows you to produce, earn, and pay for your own crap, pay for your own stuff. And therein is where I want to touch and land right there. Why should a man that is just as capable as you are, who works just as hard, if not harder than you do, have to come into a situation dealing with you and be mandated to have to contribute his resources for your satisfaction? I could totally understand this mindset when you were incapable of earning your own money. I could totally understand this mindset when it was necessary for a man to be presenting a sort of a package, sort of a life. The whole point of dating and courting back in the day was because a man was presenting to a woman that, hey, I will be willing to take you on, bring you into my life, and take care of you. That was the point. That is no longer the case. See, what we have now is what's called casual dating. And in the nature that is casual, keyword casual, right? It allows for people to get to know each other without the deep level of commitment. Now, am I one person that believes that this is the best method to go about practicing? Oh, that's just personal preference. That all depends on what you're trying to accomplish. What I do like about the concept, though, is that it allows for people to meet on mutual ground. And that is what modern dating is, gentlemen. That is what the nature of what it is right now is, mutual ground. The young lady that was on, MTR's channel, the review that he did in reference to she's telling young women not to deal with men unless they pay for everything, or not to get involved with men that don't, make it worth your while, is wrong. It's backwards. It's corrupt communication. It is delusional on so many levels, and it needs to stop. But men need to also understand and be okay with the idea and the notion that we're going to meet on mutual ground. Why is it that you as a man have to come into a situation and be subjugated to the treatment that is expectation of your resources, your time, your energy, and all she has to do is halfway exist in a situation, but gets the fullness of your hard work and dedication? No, I don't agree with that. I believe that a woman that does not spend money on you, on time and experiences, will not respect the man that you are. That's what I believe. I believe that women are hardwired to only respect what they work for. And if you as a man are not making it to where she has to earn your attention, your time, and has to contribute, not just her energy and not just her presence, but even her resources, gentlemen, you're messing up the game. I remember stating something along these lines some time ago, saying that we have to create a different image. And not only an image, a different standard. See, what used to be, what was our blueprint, per se, when it came to meeting people, when it came to courting, when it came to pursuing a woman, when it came to pursuing a man, when it came to this whole romantic portion of life, was at one time done a certain way for so long. And now, along with so many other things, we are now living in a modern time. Now, do I think that because we live in a modern time that we need to modernize absolutely every aspect of our lives? No, not necessarily. I believe that some things should remain the same. Some things should have pillar truths. Some things should have old common practices that just work. So that I still stand for, that I agree. But that is for us to determine. And again, like I was saying moments ago, because we have now created a landscape that allows for, a competition of sorts. And what I mean by competition is that when women had asked and requested to now be in position to make their own money, chase after resources, go after education and things like that, which I applaud. I don't by any means want anyone to misconstrue or be confused by what I'm saying, that I am against the development and the advancement of women. Not at all. I am one person that will applaud any woman that wants to go out here in this world and make herself great and make herself, competent and competitive and successful. I applaud it. My issue with it, ladies, is that you cannot do that. Demand to be treated as equal. Demand to be treated as a whole person, as a whole adult, but then act in the capacity of a child. That is not how it works. If you want, which you guys claim you want it, which you got, fullness of respect, fullness of opportunity, given the opportunity to do, advance, educate, open businesses, flow and develop as you see fit. Well, guess what comes with that, ladies? That comes with contribution. That comes with you understanding that you have walked into the arena that for so long belonged to men. See, I don't personally think that men of late felt any way about having to handle the bulk load of what it was to be a man. We understood that, hey, this is what came with it. And I think for the most part, men were okay with it. Women weren't okay with it. And because you women weren't okay with it, rules change, laws change, and that's great. We are where we are now. But see, now with great power, ladies, comes great responsibility. You can't ask for power and then not want the responsibility. It's a contradiction. And that is where I stand on it. And that's my problem and so many other men's problems with this whole ordeal that is dating, this whole ordeal on who pays, who doesn't, who's supposed to make more money, who's supposed to take care of who. No, you take care of yourself. You take care of yourself until you meet a man that believes it's necessary for him to come and take care of you better than you could even take care of you. Because that is the only time that equation is an option for you. Safely assume that if you're not in the company of that man, that it is on you to do what so many women before you have clamored and fought and scraped and screamed and whined about. You're here. You have the opportunity now to continue to be great and expand and experience all that this adult life has to offer. So fellas, hear me, feel me. Be careful on what type of women you spend your time with, and watch her, especially if she's around and she's not willing to spend any money to spend time with you. That's a woman that does not respect the grind. That's the woman that will not respect what it is to earn, to sacrifice, to plan, to prep. Because this game over here, being an adult, it's not made for the weak. And if she wants to participate in the kiddie pool, if she wants to stay over there at the little kids table, well, then you leave her there. So that is all I want to talk about today. I want to touch on that. I apologize for some of the discrepancies on this end. I was mobile and moving about, but we doing it. We still gonna record and give out the content, the best way I can. I hope you guys enjoyed the broadcast. For those of you who are joining me for, again, the first time, welcome to all my new subscribers. Thank you so much. You made a great choice. And I am going to end this at this point. Thank you for hanging out with me thus far. This is Daniel Rucker with Truth Table, signing out. Till next time.